because it's been a while. I need to make sure that everything's turned on. I see the screen, I see myself. All right. So I'm gonna the TLDR up at the top. I'm planning on getting back into streaming. This is gonna be a somewhat short video for recapping what happened and what's going on now and what future plans are. So, and like tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to try and get back to one a day, and hopefully starting tomorrow, I'll be able to. It's having internet problems. I see. Well, I'm recording this as well, so it'll be posted up. And starting tomorrow, I should get back to games. So I've got Assassin's Creed I've got to play. So I'm tired. Yesterday was rough. Anyway, what happened? Because I stopped streaming for 6 months after Google decided to disable my account because I did not successfully log into DoorDash on my phone, which I should have grabbed before I did this video. It's in the other room. And, you know, I want to go over, like, all of the potential bullshit that came around from that. But first, what I ended up losing was all of my writing. It's 2 decades worth of writing that was just gone. My spreadsheets, all of the spreadsheets that I was using to organize the stream, organize my life, organize things that I was reading, all of that's gone. Still gone. I lost the YouTube channel, which was storing a fuck ton of video. Like, just an absolute mass of videos. I've started uploading what I have on my computer, the hard copies that I have on my computer, but I'm still missing the first parts of the Factorio and Deponia runs, plus everything I did before those 2 games, which, you know, that's all of BioShock, like BioShock 1, 2, 3, that's Sekiro, that's a list of games that is just poofed. That, like, I did, and I had the recordings, but because I didn't have the hard drive space for them, I had to delete them, and I hoped that YouTube would hold on to them. But, you know, apparently failing a DoorDash login is enough to get that taken away from me. So I lost that. I lost my email. And I've been told that I deserve it. They don't tell me why. They don't tell me what I did. Like, I'm assuming it's the DoorDash login because the lockout happened 2 hours after the DoorDash login, and I'll get into the details of that in just a little bit. I'm just kind of giving the recap version right now off the top. But, like, I am still very, very, very upset about this, and I will continue to try to get this data back. That's not ending anytime soon. I am moving into patience mode. I am going to look for any opportunity to join a group, a class action lawsuit, or push a published version of the story. Because I'm sure Google, you know, would love for its patrons to understand that a single login could wipe them of all their data for the foreseeable future. You know, I'm sure people would like to know how thin a thread they have on Google, and how close every person is to losing everything that they have that is even roughly Google adjacent. It's a very thin thread. So, let's go into the detail of the day. The day that this happened was a Thursday, my day off. I'm not streaming. I'm not doing anything. It was the day after the horrible insurrection, January 7th. I was doing what I had gotten used to doing during the pandemic, which is, taking care of my grandmother, making sure to call in the Instacart so that we could have groceries delivered, and, generally not going outside, period, because plague. And I had gotten into the habit of ordering DoorDash because Thursday's a rough day. I get tired and I don't want to friggin' cook for dinner. So, I had gotten into the habit of ordering up DoorDash. And I had ordered it on this computer, and I had considered, I had a little bit of free time before the DoorDash arrived, and it was getting close to dinner, so I was going to get Granny set up and watch something in the other room with her. And so I was like, why don't I get onto DoorDash on my phone so that I can keep an eye on this food that's coming. So I logged it. I opened up the phone. I started trying to log in. It wanted me to download the app, so I downloaded the app and kind of realized, all right, the food's going to get here before I'm done logging in this time, but at least next time I'll have this tool. And so I clicked the login with continue with Google button, and it popped up my Google account, and then I clicked next, and it popped up my password. Because it auto popped up my password, I clicked next, it said invalid password. And I'm like, all right, well, there's the food right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I'm going to go eat dinner, because it's hot, I need to eat it, and I need to get Granny set up and all of that. So we sat, we ate, we watched the news, we chilled out for a couple hours. I did the dishes, just like all of the stuff that I have to do on a Thursday night. I came back and immediately couldn't upload one of my stream videos to YouTube. And that was the first thing that tipped me off that something was wrong. I then found an email in my Yahoo saying that my account had been disabled for terms of service violations. Which I don't know what that is. There was no, following the link just brought me to the front page of the terms of service, which is basically like saying, you broke the law, here's a book of laws, guess which one you broke. Which is just bullshit. And so I did the appeals thing that was, linked. If you think this was incorrect, go to the appeals team. And, I had to wait for about a week, and then the appeals team sent me a message saying, we have reviewed your account, and you have broken our terms of service. Find out more, follow this link. And I follow the link, and it's the front page of the terms of service again. So I reapply to this thing, and I get a second message by the next week saying that I deserve this. With again a link to the front page of the terms of service. So nothing. And then I try a third time and I get the same message back. And at this point I am kind of going crazy. I slowly end up having to end my stream because I don't have the physical space anymore. And once I finished my Deponia run, I kind of decided, all right, I don't have room on my computer for this anymore. So I'm going to have to stop here because I can only store this data at the moment. There's nowhere for me to put it. So I stopped streaming. And, this is the middle of a pandemic. I've also lost my YouTube account. I've lost all of the videos that I've watched on YouTube. And, so during the pandemic, one of the things that had been keeping me kind of sane was I was watching a lot of YouTube and going through backlogs of Game Grumps and Markiplier and old videos of theirs that I hadn't seen yet. And, that's difficult to check against if you suddenly lose all the markers of where you once were. So, now, and then on top of that, just watching YouTube, it felt like I'm a criminal that is coming back after getting kicked in the face because they don't like me. They obviously don't like me. And so I went to their Google Help desk, the community, the Google Help community. And they basically told me I'm shit out of luck. That one suggested that Google could not verify my account was mine. So that was interesting, considering they had hundreds of hours of video with my face on the screen, but they couldn't verify me. And like I found out that the help community, not a single person from Google works there. There's not a single Google employee working in that forum. It's totally community run. That's it. This is just people who use Google. And then, I started poking around, and they have no recovery phone line. They, in fact, shut down the recovery phone line for your own safety. So you can't call someone to get your account recovered. And you can't contact someone through Google. Eventually, one of my tweets seemed to break through, and I got the automated Google message saying, "Hey, check out the appeals team. Have you tried that yet?" And I told them to fuck off because that's, I've already done that 3 times. I've, in fact, continued to have postings. I've reapplied, but they've stopped responding. It's been months since I've gotten a response from them. And at first, there was the message, don't re-up your thing, you're in line, just wait. And, after a few months, I stopped even getting that. So, now it's just I've got my latest attempt is probably about a month old now. That I'm still waiting on a response for. But the attempt before that was 3 months. I did this one because someone else found out that a different problem with Google was that they couldn't handle cookies with their login. So I decided I'm going to just try and ship that message along to Google that maybe they should retry their cookies on their end and see if I could log into my account, the thing with all the data that I own. So no dice. And, I waited and I finally went for a lawyer, and I found out that lawyers are cowards. Not a single lawyer wants to take up this because it's an international company, and they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to fuck with it. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to deal with it. Google can basically commit whatever crimes Google wants, and the people that they commit the crimes against can go fuck themselves, because the law does not apply to Google. Their contracts are meaningless. They can do whatever they want. And no lawyer is going to stop them. No court is going to stop them. They're just going to get to do whatever they want. So, that's great. You can't contact them. You can't get in touch with them. You can't talk to a Google employee. It's impossible to get a hold of anybody. And I'm not the only one. There's at least 3 other people online that I've found who have had the same problems. One of them is the developer of Terraria, who canceled the Terraria export to Google's new console because his account got disabled in the same way that my account did, and he was given the same runaround that I've been given. And who says Google doesn't take care of its developers, right? Yeah. It's just it's just utter garbage. That's all it is. Let's go through the potential crimes that I have committed that might have gotten me banned. None of which I believe for half a second, because if it were a video that I had posted, I would have gotten a warning. I expect to at least have gotten a warning. There's not a single video I've posted on YouTube that I wouldn't happily take down in the face of losing my account. Like, that's a no-brainer. I would rather take the video down and edit out whatever was the problem. Hands down, easy peasy. I never got a single warning. There was never a message. There was never an inclination. There was never a mention that I might have problems. This is just one day I came in, there was nothing. The other indication that this is some sort of bullshit is that Google Takeout, which is supposed to allow even people who have pretty severe terms of service violations to get into their account and get their data back. Like, that is the point of Google Takeout. Google Takeout takes me right back to the same Google Appeals Team page. This is the same page. So the most likely occurrence here is that it took my DoorDash. So I think the important information here is that my phone is my Google safety accountability device. It has the passwords, the special passcodes to get into my account. And for some reason, Google took a single failed DoorDash login as my phone has been stolen and someone is hacking into my account. And so the whole thing has to be shut down so that no one steals my data. Which, the phone has certainly traveled far between the bedroom over there and this room a couple times in the past over a year now. Since, I haven't left this house in over a year. Yeah, my sanity is not great at the moment. I'm doing better because I'm fully vaccinated. Granny's fully vaccinated, and I've started to be able to go out. I had Taco Bell this last week. I had Subway. I've been out to a buffet. My mood has improved considerably, and that's part of why I'm coming back. Is because I'm no longer, a ball of pure anger and hatred. The voices inside my skull aren't just screaming in writhing pain anymore. And, I don't know how else to prove I'm who I say I am other than to shove what Google did to me into the most public spaces I've got access to and hope that Google is shamed into giving me my shit back. Because they should be. Because this is clearly a glitch. This is clearly a glitch in their automated service. They haven't bothered to fix it. They don't care. And obviously they don't care because apparently the people who work at Google also can't solve this. They don't know how. They can't get into their own accounts. Remember when I said something about Google not having trouble with cookies? Yeah, there was a big Twitter hullabaloo a little while ago where someone on their end was having trouble getting into their Google account. It was locking out. And they were able to go into the data and remove some cookies, and that refreshed their ability to log into their account on their end. And in the meantime, they had contacted Google support, and Google support had said they can't do anything. And then when he came back with this solution, the person on Google support said, "Oh, thank God. I have 2 accounts that have been locked out like this, and I don't know how to get into them." And this is Google support, who don't know how to get into their own damn accounts. Your shit stinks, Google. I hope you know that. So, with that all out of the way, there's only 2 things, according to Google, that constitute a severe enough violation of terms of service as to require a total shutdown of all data for that person. Just complete, they shut it all down. There's only 2. Oh, there's technically 3. The third one is the one that I think happened to me. The first is terrorist activity, which anybody looking at my videos, that's a laughable claim. There's also nothing, like, if you think a few times, the couple of times that I've wished that Trump died during the COVID outbreak is me being a terrorist, you need to work your definitions a little bit on that. Because that's not terrorism. That's not even mild terrorism. That is a wish for a change in a situation in which hundreds of thousands of people are dying and one person is basically creating the scenario in which hundreds of thousands of people are dying. Yeah, a lot of people are going to wish for his death. That's just going to be life for him. You know, you don't get away with callously murdering hundreds of thousands of people without making a few people very upset and angry. I'm just, putting that out there. And the other one is child pornography, specifically trafficking child pornography. I don't have child porn on my account. I am very, very careful about child pornography, period. I loathe the topic. And I legitimately, I do sexual role-playing online, and that is one of my hard no's. And that's not even with images. That's just playing with an underage character. I don't do that. I won't touch it. I won't do it. I won't play it. Period. Like, that's a hard no. I refuse. So, unless someone got into one of my shared folders and decided to fuck with me by, putting child porn into a shared folder that I don't open or look at anymore, bullshit. That's the only thing that I can think of there. Then the third one is obviously hacking. Like the account has been hacked, and so it's being locked to protect the data. Which is, I think, the one that happened to me that would make the most sense with Google Takeout being shut down as well, because that way not even someone else could get into my data and futz about. But that has the intrinsic problem of I still need to get my data back somehow. You can't just say, well, someone attempted to hack into your account and now you don't have your data either. This would be like coming home and finding your house burned to the ground, and the fire department's there saying, yeah, your house was at risk of burning to the ground, so we burned it to the ground. And now you don't have to worry about that anymore. Thanks, you solved the problem. But I'd like my house, actually. I'd, much rather have my data. Even if it were being stolen, just alert me that it's being stolen then. And, I'll work with you and we'll put a stop to that. Together, we can do that. I can, rather than just take my shit away and tell me to go fuck myself. There are other options. And again, I've gotten 0 warnings. I've gotten 0 messages, nothing telling me, hey, this specific thing needs to be taken care of. You need to do something about this and fix this or that or the other thing. I've gotten no messages, no warnings, no information. Just, I violated their terms of service somehow. And that's that. I can go to hell. I'm a terrible criminal. So, that bullshit aside, I am starting to come back now. I am calmer. I am in a better place. It's taken 6 months to calm down from, bullshit mountain. And I've been wanting to stream pretty badly for the past 6 months, but it's just, no space. Thankfully, my mother has agreed to supply me with as many external hard drives as I need to store my data, as well as get a Backblaze account going for possibly the whole family to prevent this kind of shit again. So, with that in mind, I am starting to come back. I'm re-uploading my old videos to a new YouTube account that is actually named after the channel this time too, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to find. And if I get when I get my other videos back, I'm actually going to export them to this Google account for multiple reasons, one of which being that if I divide up where all of my Google stuff is, if one, and have each account focus on one thing, they can't fuck me with one move anymore. And at least I'll know what specific account is having trouble. So that's, my current process has been to break apart my Google usage into a bunch of different usernames so that I have, each one just doing one thing and only one thing, so that one can't just destroy everything else. And that's a pain in the ass because I got to swap between accounts, but the bigger pain in the ass is losing everything because Google decides, your account's being hacked somehow by failing to do a DoorDash login. So now you don't have anything. See how that works. So that is the big thing that has changed. I'm still looking for a YouTube alternative, a good YouTube alternative. Dailymotion does not look like it's going to work. Vimeo also doesn't look like it's going to work. Those require too much payment to actually use. So I'm still looking for actual alternatives. I'm also going to try and redo some of how the streaming is done. Going forward, I'm going to attempt to get the chat room set up so that it's on screen and recorded as well with, so that YouTube viewers can see it. And I'm also thinking of getting a little goals thing on the bottom of the screen as well, so that, because a lot of times I have weird goals in mind for games. Case in point, well, I'm not going to be starting the nighttime streams anytime soon because it's taking a while to upload everything to the new YouTube account. And so that's most of my nights is just loading things into the YouTube account one at a time so that the playlists don't get fucked. And everything's, kept in order. I will, once I'm done with that, start with Factorio as my nighttime play, unless I have people that want to play something else, which I don't have great luck with at the moment. So most likely it's going to be Factorio. During the day I'm going to be back to Assassin's Creed. I'm going to start Assassin's Creed. I'm actually going to start my Assassin's Creed run hopefully tomorrow. This is going to be the first Assassin's Creed, and it's going to be, again, all achievements, as I have been doing, except for some games, like Factorio. So with Factorio, the current Factorio videos start to poke at me playing around with Bob's Mod. I haven't gotten much further in there, but I have changed my setup quite a bit. And I don't know if anyone's seen these, but I have been working on a blueprint book because there's no Bob's Mod blueprints at all. And my first Factorio video, I'm going to actually categorize it as something new entirely when I get to it, because what I'm doing there is very different from what I was doing. I'm doing blueprint work. I have 2 games files, and I may actually restart the other game file, but I have a sandbox that I created for Bob's Mod. I'll show what mods I've got downloaded, but I have created a sandbox world, and it's not by using the usual sandbox option on Factorio, because that removes the character, which removes the ability to use the Blueprint Laboratory mod that I've been using to make blueprints. So I had to load up a regular game, turn all enemies off, and then open up, activate cheat mode, and then undo the part where where it automatically gives me all techs, all of the technologies, so that I can scale everything to where each research group ends. And that has been what I've been working on, is a selection of blueprints for each rank of research. And belts is actually where I ended up dividing it by, was by belt color. And I'm currently on the blue belts, which are 4. Yeah, they're 4, and there's only 2 more past it. That's where I've gotten over the past 6 months. This is like most of what I've been doing for the past 6 months, is just working on this blueprint book. And I'll just start streaming me working on this blueprint book. There's a lot of work to do, and it hurts my brain, and I cry. So that'll be hopefully fun to watch. The other thing I've been doing with my free time has been reading a lot of comics, but I'll probably talk about that quite a bit during streams. Like old comics. I had already started a run, like when I was streaming before. I had started working on a full run of all Marvel and DC comics, starting from 1930 something and going forward to modern. It's a lot. There's a lot. And I did take like a few months break in the middle there, but like I've been pretty consistent lately because there's not been much to do. Streaming will probably cut into that a little bit, but I would rather stream. I've got games piling up on my computer, frankly, that I need to get cleared out, and I want to stream them, so fuck it, we're streaming. I should get my first external soon, and we'll see what happens from there. The point is that I am feeling a little bit better. Fuck Google, and I'm back. Hi, folks. I'll see you probably tomorrow and going forward until, I've got all the stupid videos uploaded to my new YouTube channel, at which point I'll also be doing nighttime streams. Huzzah. Later, folks.